Now, where to begin? Phylum Pinophyta, the phylum under the genus Phylum, the plant with a vascular tissue and naked seed. Firstly, let's talk about fun fact. In the White Mountains of California, the longest-lived species, Pinus longeva, also known as the Great Basin bristlecone pine, is found. It is one of the world's oldest living organisms at around 4,800 years old. Next, an older bristlecone pine also was discovered in Inyo National Forest. It is over 5,000 years old. Next, located in the southern Oregon, Rouge River, Siskiyou National Forest, Siberian dwarf pine, and Potosi pinyon, which are the smallest pine, are found. The tallest ponderosa pine with 81.79 meters tall also can be found here. Pines are long-lived and typically reach age of hundreds to 1,000 years, some even more. Size of pines depend on the species. They can reach from 3 to 80 meters tall, with the majority of the species reaching from 15 to 45 meters tall. Commercial pines are grown in plantation and extremely important for timber. And the pine wood are widely used in furniture, floors, and window frames.
Hi, I will explain about the introductions. So the introduction consists of two. The first one is division Pinophyta and conifera. The second one is distribution of the pine trees. So the genus Phylum, which is known as the naked seeds. This plant includes burying the seeds in cone-like structures. So this opposes the angiosperm. This is a flowering plant. The seeds is enclosed in their ovary. Modern genus Phylum include the extant division are the Pinophyta, Ginkgophyta, Psychodophyta, and Nithophyta. Pteridosperm or the seed fern usually present in early form of the genus Phylum. Next, about the Pinophyte. The Pinophyte, commonly known as a conifer, that range from the Carboniferous. And for the Coleothales and Volsines is commonly known as the extinct order of the Pinophyta. Thus, the order Pinel is formerly conifera, has both extinct and extant genera. The example of the Pinel are pine, spruce, Douglas fir, cedar, and junipers. So the next is about a conifer. So this conifer is come from the Latin wood. So this compound of the conus is mean wood, while the fir is the meaning beard. So the bird is meaning the one bear the cones. The next explanation is about distribution of pine tree. So basically, the pine are naturally found exclusive in the northern hemispheres. There can be found on the North America, China, Southeast Asia, Russia, and Europe. So where is it the pine trees? Okay, so this pine tree are basically dominant plant in the cool temperate and boreal forest. So they are particularly successful in the cold area where the broadleaf plants are unable to survive, such as the boreal forest and the high altitude.
Edition of Introduction: Ecology of Pine Trees. Pines are well adapted to live in cold environments and in nutrient-poor soils. Their growth form help to reduce the amount of snow. Each branch must support overwinter and prevents branches from falling off. Often the fallen needles of pine will form a dense mat on the floor first and prevent other plants growing underneath them. Pines also can form a well-developed canopy and reduce the amount of light penetrating to the forest floor. Pines enjoy receiving high level of light and can struggle to survive in shaded areas. They also struggle to compete with broadleaf plants in tropical rainforests. Next, diversity of size and structure. The conifers are the most varied gymnosperms. The earliest conifers in the fossil record date to the late Carboniferous, which is Pennsylvanian period, about 300 million years ago. Pinophytes, cycadophytes, and gingophytes all developed at this time. An important adaptation of these gymnosperms was allowing plants to live without being so dependent on water. Other adaptations are pollen, so fertilization can occur without water and the seed, which allow the embryo to be transported and developed elsewhere. The example of the fossils that we found in gymnosperms are Wellemia pines and Dawn redwood.
So this is our final model of Pinophyta. Firstly, I'm gonna tell you the material that we used to make this model. We use a colored paper, which are green and red colored paper. The green is used to make a Pinophyta leaf, and the red one is used to make a cone structure. We also use a sellotape to glue it together, and lastly, we use a ranting pokok as the tree trunk.
For my part, I'm going to talk about the Pinophyta structure. The Pinophyta are perennial lofty tree with spirally growing branches that give them the pyramidal or conical appearance. They have two types of branches, which is the short shoots and long shoots. The needle-like photosynthetic adult leaves with two or more resin canals are borne in fascicles of 2 to 5 at the tips of each short shoots. And the leaf will remain on the tree for 2 years up until to 17 years. For the Pinophyta reproductive structure, the male and female sporophyll are formed in the same plant but appear usually in separated cones or strobili. The pollen-bearing male cones or the staminate strobilus are covered with many fertile scales, each of which have 2 pollen sacs, while the ovule-bearing female cones or the ovulate strobilus have several spirally arranged bracts, each of which is located below a scale with 2 ovules.
Gymnosperms produce very small gametophytes within the male and female cones. The male gametophyte is the pollen and the female gametophytes are the eggs in the ovule. The sperm of gymnosperm do not swim through water to reach the ovule, but wind will carry the pollen to transport the sperm. Okay, now I want to present about the reproduction of pine tree. Pine trees reproduce by producing seeds. Unlike deciduous trees, which produce seeds surrounded by fruit, pine seeds are located on a scale structure called cones. Pine trees possess both male and female cones on the same tree. Typically, the male cones that produce pollen located on the lower branches of the tree. This is to prevent the pollen from falling on the female cones of the same tree. This will promote fertilization with other pine trees, which enhances the genetic variation among trees. The male cones, also known as catkins, only present during the spring of the year when they are producing pollens. They do not look like the pine cones that we are familiar with, but they are long thin structures that are soft and located in clusters on the branches.